because we're committed to the biggest question of all. What's out there?
Starfield hasn't even landed yet, and it is right now one of the best sellers on Steam. If you already own an Xbox but you don't have a membership to the subscription service, you're probably in luck, because as this new offer, the Microsoft Store will let you try the game for a limited time for just $1. That said, however, Starfield, the most anticipated and one of the biggest open world games in the making, is releasing on September 6th this year for PCs and Xbox Series only. It'll eventually take you down about 130 gigabytes of storage. To accompany the good news, we got a new trailer for it too.
You from here on out, Captain.
Grab jump is ready. I love this part.
These artifacts could be everything we've been looking for. Another great secret the universe is asking us to unravel.
Human settlements throughout the galaxy could be at risk.
We are not stopping. Whatever lies at the end of this road will change humanity forever.
With just a little more than a month left until the release of Mortal Kombat 1, we got another trailer for it, and that Mortal Kombat will now have a single-player campaign, like the old Conquest's Mortal Kombat series, although it's going by the name Invasions. Now you probably know this already, but Reptile can now shapeshift between human and lizard forms, turn invisible, there's Ashra, and they even added Havoc. Anyway, Mortal Kombat 1's releasing on PCs and the next generation of consoles only, September 19.
Astra and Syzos, come. The monks must prepare you for war.
You will accept chaos, by choice or by force.
Killing one realm to free another is a heinous proposition. One I won't let you fulfill.
Let the masses chatter their empty praises.
Lies of P was actually resurfaced about a week ago with a new technically finished footage, gameplay, and believe it or not, it's releasing for PCs and both generation of consoles as well. Switch, not really. It's gonna be coming out though on September 19, just like the previous game, and if you just didn't know Lies of P from before, imagine what you get by mixing Elden Ring with a little bit of the recent game Atomic Heart. It's a Souls-like action RPG and you play as Pinocchio.
This key to a new paradigm, a new world. This moment to silence the fools forever. This is Ergo.
A couple of weeks ago, there was the sudden act or release of Starbreeze Studios trailer and then taken down of Payday 3's official gameplay. Now I'm assuming some of you missed out on it, so here it is, finally in the flesh. The sequel here is a first-person shooter as always, set to release on September 21st across all consoles except Switch. It's the same old gang though, and characters coming back to do a few more heists after previously leaving to go their separate ways at the end of Payday 2. Take a look.
got 1,001 reasons to want Myers as a hostage. Sleeper agents. Time to wake them up.
So NUSA's tossing us back into the fray, huh?
Been in the making for a whole year, actually almost 2 years now. Number 5, we have Cyberpunk 2077's Phantom Liberty, probably the biggest expansion pack we're about to come across this year. Introducing new cybergenetic options for your characters, a whole new district, a much more advanced, accurate penalty system, and a few adjustments in RPG mechanics, skill trees, augmentations, and more. This expansion will release eventually September 26th for PCs and the next generation of consoles only.
Someone ratted us out.
You know, V, treason ain't ever black and white.
It's a charade, V.
Wherever she goes, people get hurt. Bodies drop.
Just want what Songbird promised me. The cure.
The situation's changed. You need to know if you're with me.
Illusion of freedom draws in the desperate. Pick your truth, V.
Come on, got iron in your hand. Gotta put it to someone's head. Pull the trigger.
I don't do anything.
I've never been a quitter. Just know how to deliver. Speed it up, only one winner. No time for new beginners.
Ubisoft just confirmed that the Crew Motor Fest will now release September 14th. They actually released a deep dive trailer for the gameplay and a cinematic as well. Crew Motor Fest is, in case you're just new here, an open world racing driving game taking place in Hawaii, where just like Forza Horizon, not only you'll be racing, but roaming, jumping obstacles, exploring, and enjoy some next generation graphics and a decent soundtrack too. Check it out in case you miss out on the update.
I'm not slowing down. Pedal to the metal. Four wheel two seats on the pedal. Vroom vroom. Four wheel two seats better be ready. Turn it up, only one winner. No time for new beginners. You only get what you give. I'ma run it up to the day that I did.
Number 7, it's actually the second most awaited game of the list here, coming right behind the 20-year-old Starfield. We have Witchfire. This is a dark fantasy first-person shooter that I've mentioned maybe a dozen times already. It's coming from the same folks who previously worked on Painkiller and the Bulletstorm games, but Witchfire has been in development for over 8 years. The game is now scheduled to come out finally on September 20th this year for PCs only. Here's a trailer showcasing pretty much all the global changes since the game's reveal. Come to mention, the longest awaited sequel here, Square Enix released a trailer for the action RPG Infinity's Trash Dragon Quest The Adventures of Dai. Said the game will now be coming over to all consoles, literally September 28th this year, worldwide, except Switch, and the game itself, if you're not familiar with, is based on the anime and the manga series of the same name, and just lets you play through the show itself as Dai. The price of the game will eventually be about $60. Coming around after a few months of silence again and over 2 years of development, we have the famous mobile game developers Nacon in partnership with Teyon. It's the same developers of Terminator Resistance, a new entry in the franchise. I mean, not really the franchise, but rather shift here. If you didn't know, making a RoboCop game called Rogue City. What is described as a story-driven single-player first-person shooter. Not to mention actually being built with the use of Unreal Engine 5. Take a look. Game's a PC to next generation console exclusive and releasing around this September.
Surrender your weapons.
Finally!
Nacon, in addition to RoboCop, just announced a delayed release date of September 14th this year for Ad Infinitum. The game will now be coming to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series in addition to PCs on Steam, and a little later apparently for the past generation of consoles as well. Ad Infinitum is a first-person survival horror, what its developers given the title a surreal nightmare where the player takes on the role of a German soldier in the First World War who has to overcome his fears, or what seems to be a real hell in his own mind. Here's a trailer. Now, I mentioned that maybe once a good chance as you missed it, the old first-person fantasy roguelike, Mythforce, will actually leave its early access and releasing for not just PCs this time, but both generation of consoles and even Switch a little later down the line on September 12th. The game will feature 3 episodes, adjusted progression system with drop-in, drop-out functionality, and co-op play. I haven't played this one myself, so if you haven't either, here's a new trailer.
Tear them to pieces, my minions! Feeling the heat.
Your smile. Your warmth. Is there anything we can do?
Coming up behind that, we have Eternites. This is a post-apocalyptic dating sim and an action game too. This is the company's first ever project. I don't know what it is inspired by, as I'm not really into dating games. You see, you technically here take on a journey to find love through a near-death experience. I would say a little bit in the same vein as the game Haven. You guys remember Haven? Except it's just a little less more romantic. Or maybe not, I don't know. Here's the trailer. Eternites is set to be coming to PCs and the PlayStation consoles only September 21st this year. Moving on, we have Hellsweeper VR. But what is best described as a roguelike first-person combat simulator? This game actually came our way from the same developers behind Sirento. That's another pretty bizarre but really awesome game made in VR. Hellsweeper, though, VR just came out of its pre-alpha demo and now coming to the Oculus and PC VR stores on September 21st. Apparently, a little later on though on the PlayStation VR 2 as well. Guys, look, if you do like vehicle simulation games, you might want to keep an eye out for Heavy Duty Challenge, the off-road truck sim. That's actually one of the most realistic, supposedly open-world transportation sims of 2023 that's coming from a pretty well-known developer too. I mean, the aim of the game is, as stated by developers, is to just enjoy crossing through really tough terrains as well as looking for various secrets along the way in different trains and different continents. The game is releasing on September 14 for PCs only.
Standard! Enjoy the classic and explosive battle mode.
Super Bomberman R2 will now launch for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and also the PCs via Steam on September 13. This sequel over here, and yes, it's actually a sequel to the 2017 game, will now boast a bunch of new mods, the same old classic gameplay, a story mod, a single-player one, and a 64-player battle royale, and even a little bit of racing as always. Anyway, to accompany the good news, we got this.
Attack or defend your castle. The attack side blasts their way through the stage to find keys and open treasure chests. Find all the chests, you win! The castle side must defend their treasure chests at all costs. If even just one chest remains safe, victory! You can even create your own original stages and share them online. Create an impenetrable stage by making full use of various gimmicks. In story mode, discover a whole new single-player adventure. Explore new planets. Build up and reinforce your base. Defend your base and wage attacks in the enemy territory.
Explore vast lands in this brand new adventure. Utilize skills to defeat powerful enemies.
And lastly, well, NIS America finally announced that Monochrome, Mobius, is going to be releasing September 5 across PCs and the PlayStation consoles only. A game that was indeed originally released in Japan, in Japanese, around November last year, I believe, and took a lot of fans' requests to finally make it over to the West. Now, if you are new, you see, Monochrome is a pretty heavy, story-heavy JRPG from the same developers of Ramona games. One of the best in delivering atmosphere and story, and there's a downside. This game will take you down about $100.
Each area is home to a variety of creatures. Charge into an enemy to start a battle. Be mindful, how you make contact can either help or hurt you. Pay attention to the action ring, as it determines your turn order. Strike first to seize the advantage. Attacking an enemy repeatedly will stagger it and delay their next turn. There's many ways to interact with the action ring. For instance, you can accelerate your turn order by maxing out the zeal gauge. Use it to activate Overzeal and ascend directly into the inner ring.